Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Sorry if I sound very janky, I'm still sick with whatever this thing is. Anyway, I feel like I have to make a video on this thing that has started this all eventually. Five Nights at Zen's. I made this about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. Probably not, though. Five Nights at Zen's was based off another FNAF fan game, which we'll get to in a bit. It's gonna have an entire segment, too. And on screen is one of the earliest versions of the title screen for this. Yeah, he looked a lot different and stupid. I was very inexperienced with art, digital art in general, and this was pretty much my first digital art, so honestly, it didn't even look that bad when we're talking about this being the first thing I drew digitally. Well, maybe not the exact first, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, sorry. I had to leave a cough in there somewhere, so I'll cut out the other ones. So yeah, Five Nights at Zen's was my first project, and I released it on YouTube and stuff. I think I had a few more animation projects previous to it, but they were all kind of helping with like trace and stuff, but this was my first like original content and stuff. So Five Nights at Zen's, it was very special to me. I didn't know what I was doing much, but I enjoyed doing it, so I kept doing it. So I don't really know what to say, honestly. It was a very fun time back then. Eventually, I would move on to making the Zen comics, which would be the first thing straying away from them just being a bunch of pals trying to kill you, which I'll get to what that reminds people of. And then after that, the Zen and Act show would come out, and then Five Nights at Zen's would start just fading in my mind and become something that wasn't really something I cared much about anymore. And then I made IB, and it was off the hook, pretty much. It was no longer some FNAF fan game. Five Nights at Zen's was the thing that flourished and created an anime breakdown eventually. I know a lot in Five Nights at Zen's has nothing to do with IB nowadays, but it set in stone what was going to be here in the future. And I think that that's just amazing. The fact that something like this, a FNAF fan game, could turn it into an object show to completely, almost non-interactive communities. It's just crazy to me. Anyway, I've been flashing the title screens of a lot of projects, and I know you'll see Five Nights at Zen's 2 and 3. Now, I just made those for fun, not because there was actually going to really be any. There was more too, but you know. Now, I want to talk about the failure of Five Nights at Zen's. And what I mean by failure is how it just kind of died. The reason it kind of died is, number one, I was working on an iPad, and there's really no good iPad coding things. I tried HyperPad and a few things like that. None of them really worked for what complex stuff I was looking. I think I was overestimating what I could do, since I had very little digital experience with, like, I had no coding experience. Maybe some Scratch, but I'm still pretty bad at that. So if there would be a Five Nights at Zen's in the future, is somebody else would code it, and I would just be the visual dude and the guy that just kind of like concepts everything. I know at some point Super was like learning coding or something, and like Game Maker. I'm not sure though if that was it, but that's been the closest I've ever mentally brought back Five Nights at Zen's. There have been so many attempts of it too. There was one that got pretty close to being a visual game instead of a actual game, and that was not gonna work. And I made that a few months back when I actually wanted to bring it back. But even then, I just didn't think that it would really work that well, so I just didn't. It was sad, I know. And I got to address One Night at Flumpty's. If you don't know what One Night at Flumpty's is, it's a FNAF fan game that came pretty early in Freddy's existence, or Five Nights at Freddy's, I should say, and was made by Jonachrome. There were 3 games. There was a canceled 1 week at Flumpty's, and Zen had very, very light base off Flumpty with the circle-ish design. But other than that, wasn't really much. I mean, there is this frame camera frame on Flumpty's 2 where he has a hat, and I made a reference to this hat coloring in episode 2, season 2, with the Zen flashback where he had that hat color scheme. So it's pretty cool. It's the brownish maroon one, if you're trying to look for it specifically. But I kind of grew up with One Night at Flumpty's a little bit. The third game wasn't out when I found out about the game existing, and then it came out from the Fanverse initiative, and man, did I love it. I instantly fell in love. I have completed each game at least 10 times. I used to be so good at it. I mean, I haven't completed one of the nights in, like, at least a year or so. And then I did it on stream a few times, but it didn't really go that well, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, One Night at Flumpty's means so much to an anime breakdown. As much as you think it has nothing to do with it, it has everything to do with it. All the characters you see now have some correlation to One Night at Flumpty's. Not physically, but spiritually. It's the game that made me want to create a fan game of Five Nights at Freddy's. Because if I just found FNAF and candies and stuff, I probably wouldn't. But Flumpty's was just the thing I needed to create a game. And I know it never worked out, but I don't care, honestly. It was still amazing to make it. And I have loved making this show, too, with all of you guys. I know that I'm very unpopular and nobody really watches what I do. I mean, there's a few, but it's been amazing. I just gotta say, it's been great doing this for almost 3 years now. Wow. That's almost as old as my cat's 3, if you don't know what math is. I think most of you do. Other than, vinyl. But whatever. Now, some of you might be asking why address something so old that doesn't even matter anymore, and it's because I want to make Five Nights at Freddy's, but I can't. I don't want to make art for it until I know there's a decent chance that anybody can code it and, like, make it a reality, because, God, I would love to do that. I have dreamed of making this game a reality for 2.5 years, and it would be amazing if I could do that, but obviously you need some pretty mad coding skills for it. So, if it does come out, it'll probably be in, like, 2035, so don't expect it for centuries. If you guys are interested in Five Nights at Zen's and want to support it, I don't really have a merch store. I don't know how to do that, but just kind of, like, share my content with your friends, I guess, man. I don't know. Or try to find a way to make me more popular if you want to try to support this. If you want Five Nights at Zen's to become a reality, then it possibly could in the future. If it gets enough hype, then I'll consider maybe trying to make some art for it, and if you guys like it, then I'll just kind of wait and improve on it before eventually, if at some point somebody decides they want to help me code it, since I don't know how to code it, and I'm not going to learn. I'm super dumb with coding. It will take, like, years, and I'm not waiting years. But thank you once again for especially people like Carl the Mapper, Vinyl, people like that who have been here the longest, and some of our newer pals, mainly Joel T, Speechless, and then a few others. Yeah, everyone who has watched me and has supported me, thank you very much. And I hope, some quick news, ASI39B is almost finished. It will be uploaded in the next week or so be ready for that. But it'll be a little while because I'm still sick and I don't want my voice to sound like crap in an official episode. So, goodbye everyone, it has been amazing talking. Editor's note, sorry for all the voice cracks. When I'm sick, I get a lot of voice cracks, and, you know, the other thing. So, bye.